Today we got to go over to the other property and get one of my wreckers. I'm not sure if we're going to use the big wrecker or the little wrecker, but I got to move a truck. So let's head over there and get one. We got to get a truck moved over here.
He decided to use the one he calls Betty White to try to do this. Get your bungee off of there. Get your bungee cord off of it. Okay. Do you want those forks under the axle?
Yeah.
All right, I'll try to guide you. Can that go lower because it's going to hit? The forks are going to hit it.
Truck off. We'll chain this up real quick, but I want to get blocks underneath the wheels so as we work it's sitting on blocks.
Okay.
I ordered these through Mighty Products. They're 3/8 by half ratchet binders. Working load limit of 12,000 pounds. Capacity 48,000. You can see the specs here. So I'm going to use these to tie, or this to tie the front axle down. Then I'm these chokers. These ones have a working load limit of 3.15 ton per. So you're looking at 6,000 pounds, over 12,000 pounds with the two of these. And well, this thing doesn't weigh 12,000 pounds, so the whole thing is probably, today it's sitting around 10 or 11, I'm guessing. I need a bungee cord now. I should have got the ones that had the fold over handle, and I didn't even think about that, but I'll bungee it up and we'll bungee this chain. So those two chains are squeezing the axle down and holding it in these forks, and then I'm using the chain, I'll show you in the front, to tension them. So you can see the chain comes around the axle and it comes down here, follows here under this hook. The chain comes up and over on that hook and around the back, so it's taking the slack out of this chain and making that axle tight to the fork so it can't move. Is there a better way? Maybe. Is that what I'm gonna do? Yep. And then we have this here. And I'm just going to bring this around here. I'm just tying up my extra chain. So that'll keep all that chain up. I'll need to take these and make the chain, get a longer chain section, because they were just too short. So I had to use these ones instead. But I need a bungee for that, and I think we're ready to start on taking the drive shaft out. Cage brakes. Since this is an air brake truck, it has the parking brake set with the absence of air, and we have to release that. So we're going to use this caging bolt. Now, you'll watch here as I crank this in, you can see this slack adjuster, it'll compress. When it stops moving, we stop cranking. I think that's it. Okay, so that brake should be released, meaning the brake shoe should be away. Got my okay, same thing. So we know that they're released because the truck moved. Now that's why it's important that we chain the front end down first before we do anything. So now we can work on the drive shaft. My other one's missing in action, so we're gonna have to use a wrench on this. Much faster with a socket.
Or a ratcheting wrench.
Can't get a ratcheting wrench in there. There
They sure do turn hard.
They got thread locker on them.
Oh, I'm gonna drop it down.
Yeah. You should be able to just get one out, one loose, and flip it around. And it should let me get it out of there.
So leave this one in part way.
That's fine. That's all it takes. Figures at one time I grabbed one of these straps, a really long hook on it, huh?
Yeah, but when you need one, can't find it.
Nowhere to be found. Okay, now we'll just take some duct tape and put it around there so I don't lose the caps. Okay, takes care of that. Let's get our tools picked up. When I'm turning that on the cradle on the axle, I'm tightening them chains as well. Now that's plenty high enough. We want to make sure that we have the brakes unlocked so the wheels are moving easily. Now this thing will lift 9,000 pounds, tow 20. 9,000 is with that completely retracted in here. We need to come up here where we have enough room to turn, but not so far back that we're putting a lot of extra weight on that under reach we don't need. Now I got to get safety chains on it. Got to have enough to get them turn left and right, but not drag the ground. So next I got to go over everything and make sure there's nothing loose, like the hood, the battery box lid, you know, anything loose on here, including this lift gate. Now we'll have to get all this crap off here. We don't want to bounce it off on the road. And then we got to hang some lights on the back. I'm probably a little bit high in the front, but until we get it out of here, I'm gonna leave it up that high. It's gonna be a little bit tight. The driveway is only about 14 feet wide here, and this has got some length to her, but let's get it out of here.
I have a feeling it may be hard for him to get this out of here because it's so long. And we have a ditch on either side of the road. Hopefully not. I guess not. Good deal. Okay, I'm gonna hop in the van and follow him.
Alright, chains look good. Everything's still tight now, so we're gonna head down the road. I think it's sitting pretty good too. It's got a little bit of heavy lift in the front, but it's not terrible. But let's head down the road. And here we go. Slow and easy. This will be the first real distance that this truck is going to be towing anything, and it's really not that far. Shoot, this handles it just fine. Again, that thing's not very heavy, maybe 10, 5, 11,000 pounds right now. It's not terrible. I just stopped to check chains, make sure everything's okay. We're good. Get on down the road. Betty White, making it right. Got my Escort. Man, you gotta get used to towing with a gas-powered rig, keeping the RPMs a little higher. You know, this thing, it's a 454, it's not super powerful. I'm used to running lower RPMs, so I hear it get up in higher RPMs and I want to kind of let up a little bit, but that's not what we need. We need a little more RPMs out of the old girl. It's doing okay. Making turns nice. I'm telling you, a diesel engine in the front of this would be so helpful. Well, we made it with no troubles. Time to get this thing back on its own 4 corners, I guess. Get it unhooked. I would say this, there's definitely a power problem with this truck. It just ain't got enough power. 1, because it's gas, and 2, because it's like it just doesn't have enough fuel pressure. We'll have to look into that. You figure this truck the way it is with that truck, it's probably at the capacity of this thing, really, for that motor, but whatever, it'll be fine. Let's extend this baby out a little bit so we have enough room to. That's about it for my safety chains.
Well, that went pretty smooth, thankfully.
I got pushed that truck back as far as I could. The problem is we're kind of turned. So being that I had to turn in here and I couldn't get straight, I can't fold that up. If we were straight, you could probably get it. That's alright. It'll be fine.
Well, you can just do it after you move the truck. It's not a big deal.
Yep. So I think I'm going to go ahead and order up 2 more of these, but get the ones with the handle that folds over, because that'd be more useful on this wrecker. But I think I have a discount code for Mighty Products. If I do, I'll put it in the description. You guys can use it if you want, so it can save you some bucks. Alright, let's get this thing moved. For anybody who wondered, I take that strap between the U-joint and the yoke of the drive shaft and pull this way, pull forward to collapse the slip yoke and hold it up. And I like to use these types of straps because I'm able to come through places and hook it so it can't come loose, and it usually works pretty well. Alright, she's up by the shop now. I gotta cut that lift gate off because I've sold it. We got some work to do this thing. We'll get into it in the next video. Every one of these trucks needs the same thing: rockers and cab corners, and I guess I'm gonna get pretty good at that because, you know, Project Overkill needs it too. But for right now, I want to get in the wrecker, get it back over there, and let's talk about a few things it needs. Well, Betty White did just fine. I really, really like the bed of this truck. Now, I still think it should have more power than it does, so I'm going to look into the fuel pump pressure, see if we have pressure and volume, because it just seems like it should have a little bit more. And I don't think it's I'm just used to diesel and more power. I think there's actually a fuel delivery problem, or, you know, I'd say a restriction on the exhaust, but I don't think so because the temperature doesn't come up. It stays pretty cool. But anyways, it is what it is. The bed did phenomenal, handled the load. A little light in the front end, like I said. I need to seal that cylinder. I stopped halfway through and lifted it back up because it was starting to drift a little bit. Not too bad. I just keep this in here while we park it so I don't drive away, pull it out of its spot with that dragging, because it did happen once. Pretty good truck. I'm not certain what we're putting it on, but this bed. But I'm entertaining the idea of an extended cab truck that we put it on, just so we get a little more length. I'm probably going to hurt myself in the resale of the truck that I put it on with that bed, because they're getting kind of long. This is already longer than some 12 tons, but regardless, we've got a little work to do to her, but it's not stopping her from doing what she needs to do right now. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch y'all next one.